Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Hey, Are You Still There podcast. Guess who's back this week?
Beth.
That sounded very AI and robotic.
Well, that's because, like, when I say it too fast and too enthusiastic, you're like, oh, you're saying that too fast and too enthusiastic.
I don't think that's true at all. You can go back and listen to every intro of this show in history. I've never criticized your
You did. You said
exuberance.
I said it too fast one time.
No, you jumped in too fast.
Oh,
You didn't
okay.
say it too fast.
Oh, okay.
I was like, this is Mike and you just jumped in.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, whether you jumped in quick or you just are very robotic this morning, it's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Did you listen to the podcast from last week?
No.
The one I did all by myself?
No. I never listened to our podcast. I think I did one time.
Well, I understand not listening to our podcast.
Well,
so some people don't like hearing
I was going
themselves.
to clarify. I listened to you one time, I think, when I was driving.
And what, was it good enough to listen last week?
No, it's just I didn't have time. I've been busy. I have a lot going on. I just haven't had time for podcasts.
You didn't have 40 minutes where
No.
you were walking
Nope.
to turn it on.
Nope.
You didn't have 40 minutes in a car
Nope,
somewhere to
did
break
not.
it up.
Didn't.
Why don't you listen to my podcast?
I just didn't have time. I will listen to it. But now it seems so last week, it's so
It
out of
is.
date.
It
Yeah.
is.
So, yeah. No, I'll listen to it. I will. I just haven't had time this week.
Well, this is Monday morning.
Yes.
We're recording this. Hopefully I'll get it out in just a little bit
Yeah.
after we finish because we've got fans that are upset when the podcast is delayed.
Oh, gosh, yes. All two of them.
Well, I'm just
My
saying.
mom and Jerry. Those are the two that care. Is that who cares? Jerry and my.
Or are you saying the geriatrics?
No, I'm not. I didn't say that. You did. Jerry still has a lot of years to live, right, Jerry? Anyway.
We had a listener comment that they like to listen to our podcast every Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And the other week, they went to listen to it on Wednesday, and it wasn't even up yet.
Oh.
So that was the
I
week we
wonder
were
who
way
that
behind.
was. Okay.
So they were like, what's the deal?
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, anyway.
Well, we had recon, right? Yeah, that was a busy, that was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I
yeah.
talked about that last week if you had been on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh, did you reveal where I'm going to work?
I did reveal.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, spoilers. Now everybody knows.
yeah, Emory University.
School of Medicine. Yes.
School of Medicine. So, Wake Forest Baptist Health Atrium Medical Center, Advocate, whatever. They're losing you and Emory's gaining you.
Oh, one funny thing, though, about our name and how much it's changed. So I met somebody that was at our church picnic Sunday, and she was like, oh, where do you work? And I was like, well, Advocate or Atrium Health, Wake Forest Baptist, Wake Forest School of Medicine, Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. Like, I literally said all of them. And then I was like, where do you work? And she's like, did she call it Atrium Health? I can't remember, but she called it one of them. So we worked at the same place, but she's only been there a year, so she doesn't feel the need to like give people 14 names. But it is very difficult when you're like, people knew it as one thing and then the name keeps changing. But anyway.
All right. Well, I was going to give you some fun facts about Emory. I thought this would be a cool way to do part of the show today.
Oh, Emory facts. I don't know anything.
Exactly.
except-
I know how you are. You don't brush up on your Emory lore.
Yeah, so I'm
And
going to go in
you
there and
need
wow
to.
people. I'm going to be like telling them little tidbits and stuff.
Well, this is stuff I feel like you need to know.
Okay.
Do you know Emory's mascot?
It's an eagle. And do you know why I know? Because you named one of the podcasts something about eagles.
Go Eagles.
And also, when I stayed at the Emory Conference Center, when I interviewed, there was a statue of an eagle, and I got a selfie with it.
Do you know the eagle's name?
Eagly?
No, not Eagly. This isn't Peacemaker.
Well, or Maria's name, Rabbity and stuff, like she would name things. But no, what's the eagle's name?
His name is Swoop.
Oh, because he
Swoops the
singing.
eagle.
Swoop.
Swoop.
Okay,
There it is.
swoop.
I want you to walk around singing that.
Okay. And kind of like doing a little dance as I walk down the hall. Swoop, there it is. I'll
Exactly.
do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that my first day kind of thing that I do?
You've got to, yeah. So I found out the Eagles, calling Emory the mascot the Eagles was never even put up to a vote.
Oh.
What happened was the student newspaper editor basically decided that Emory needed a mascot and just started calling the teams the Eagles. And the name stuck.
Who would have thought a newspaper editor would have that kind of power? That's like power. Yeah.
Before that, their sports teams were called the Tea Sippers.
Do they have their pinky out as they hold their teacup?
Or the Hillbillies.
Oh my.
Can you get too farther apart?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is this saying something about the demographic of students they used to recruit? They either had hillbillies or tea sippers.
The Emory Hillbillies or the Emory Tea Sippers is what they would unofficially call each other.
Well, if I got on campus, I don't know if I'd know what to think. And like back then, I would have been like, wait a minute, which is it? Or is it the hillbillies versus the tea sippers?
I think it's probably biblical. They separate the sheep and the goats, and they're probably like separating the students and the hillbillies and tea sippers.
I guess so. Well, all right then. I think going with the Eagles was a good choice.
Yeah, so this editor of this newspaper started calling them the Eagles. This is the coolest thing that I think you're going to love this.
Okay.
Love it. Because you went to Salem College.
Yes.
You were part of secret societies.
Yeah. I was only one secret society.
Yeah.
The Scorpions, in case anybody wants to know.
I can
reveal it now.
I didn't know if you could even reveal it.
No, so what happens is, super quick, can I tell real quick?
It's quick.
Okay, so people who are very service-minded and dedicated to Salem would be tapped, and I can't tell you what they would do back then, but like they would identify you, and you wouldn't know who the other Scorpions were, because no one knows who the Scorpions are until you graduate. And when you graduate, you get a special Scorpion pin, and that's how people can identify. So now we have a secret meeting place. Every year at reunion, they'll have like a little Scorpion tea. It's so interesting. We were just talking about tea sippers. But anyway, yes. Okay, so secret societies. Back to it. Let's hear it.
I guess I'm unofficially in the Scorpions.
Why? What is it ridiculous? I don't
I'm trying to keep this PG. Anyway, I'm biting my tongue so hard.
Okay, just keep going with this.
All right. Check this out. The unofficial mascot, though, is a skeleton. Did you know this?
No.
Check this out. While the official mascot is Swoop the Eagle.
Swoop, there it is.
Students are obsessed with Dooley, a mysterious skeleton known as Lord of Misrule, who has been a part of Emory lore since the late 1800s. They have an entire week dedicated to Dooley in the fall.
Oh.
And it says during Dooley week, in the spring. My bad. I meant the spring. During Dooley's week each spring, the skeleton and his bodyguards roam the campus and occasionally will dismiss classes, making him one of the most popular figures on campus.
Oh, I bet so. Everybody's like, we love him, dismissing classes.
How about that?
That's really cool.
That's fun.
And this is true?
Yes, it's 100% true.
Guys, I could see some professors being like, I'm not listening to that Dooley.
From the more I read about it, it is a huge thing on campus. Like, there's students that even acknowledge Dooley as the school mascot over
They're like,
the bird.
And why is it called Dooley?
I don't know.
How do you spell that? Like
Doolleys.
Interesting.
Y.
Yeah,
Dooley.
Yeah.
But yes, Dooley. So
that's really cool.
I thought you would like that.
Well, and given like
Wake Forest ain't doing that kind of stuff. I don't see Atrium canceling classes with hauling around a skeleton.
Should I do that like on my last week? Show up at work like dressed as a skeleton and going around, meetings are canceled.
Please do
that. Classes are dismissed.
Do
just
that.
like
on your last week.
Just like
got
because I'm envisioning one of those like Halloween costumes, with black with the white bones, and I'll just go around. I'll like have some incense or something that violates another policy, and I will be like, go home. All meetings are canceled today. Yes.
You know who would love this is Maria.
Yes, she would.
I still remember that video she made when she was a kid. Remember? It's Halloween.
It's Halloween. It's trick or treat.
She was dressed up like a skeleton and was singing.
And she was dancing. And we still remember that song because she sang it and did it. Well, and Maria's favorite holiday is Halloween. And I think that's what also makes this cool because also, even when I was at Salem, I remember when I was obsessed with the ghost stories. So I would get people to tell me the ghost stories. And Salem is historic. I mean, it's right there at Old Salem. And you are in old dorms, like so old that when I went to Salem, there was no air conditioning and stuff. And so there are all these stories, and I would have a friend that would be like, there's supposedly a woman. And if I walked by the window and I saw her, her face in the window. So I would get people to tell me these stories and I would freak myself out. I would get so scared. And so everybody knew I loved all these like ghost stories so much that when you're at Halloween, the local news station, because the news used to be hard up for news, I think it was WXII, came and they interviewed me and had me like take them up to the attic or something like that.
Did you say anything like, I'm afraid of the ghost?
No. Have you told that story on here?
I think we have.
Okay. My vampire story. This is one reason I don't do news interviews generally.
You can retell it real quick if you want.
Okay. So my mom and I think had Jacob just been born, I think. It's like, because I think it was one of those things, Jacob had been born. I'd been on bed rest with him, could barely walk. So we were trying to walk around the mall. I was already a mall walker at such a young age, but I was going out, somewhere it wouldn't be too hot because he was born in August and like just walking around. Well, back then when the mall, Haynes Mall, had a lot of stuff, it was like a big deal. There was tons of shops and stuff. I'm walking around and this news lady is there and they're doing some type of like story about the sun and sunblock and skin cancer and all this stuff. Well, just in case there's somebody that listens to this that hasn't seen me, I'm very fair skinned. I have freckles, so I'm like prime candidate, probably not just for terrible sunburn, but
also bullying.
Thanks, Mike. Anyway, so this lady's like, oh, can we ask you some questions? I'm like, sure, because I'm always up, for a good news interview, as I said, with that whole thing with the Salem ghost stories. So they're talking, they asked me all these things about like the sun and sun exposure and like sunblock and protecting yourself from the sun. I mean, we talk a good bit. And then they tell me that it's going to be on the news like at 7 that night or something or the 6 o'clock news. So I come home and I tell you, I'm like, Mike, I got interviewed for the news. We have to watch this. This is going to be so cool. I'm going to be on the news. So you and I turn on the news. We sit through all the news station. Because again, for the young listeners out there, this is the 1900s, back before like all the streaming and stuff. And so we're watching it. I think you even recorded it. And they do the little intro and they're like, something about, and here we are with the sun, all their dramatic things talking about the sun. And then they cut to me. And the only thing after editing that they have is me saying, I'm afraid of the sun. And then that's it. They cut out. And you looked at me and you're like, what are you, a vampire? And you were relentless. And I was like, they asked me so much more. They didn't.
22 years later, still one of the funniest things I've ever seen on television.
I'm afraid of the sun.
You were the most country, like, it's
awful.
Like they went and dug you out of the Danbury woods. And that was your first time ever coming out. Like you're some kind of hill people. And you're like, I'm afraid of the sun.
Like if I'd have been at Emory pre-Eagles or pre-Dooley, I would have been the hillbillies. I would have been the hillbilly mascot. Yes. They would have been like, oh my gosh, we have got, like if they had to have like staff representation or something, they'd be like, we have the woman to represent the hillbillies.
There's no way you're a tea sipper coming out of
not with I'm afraid of the sun. Yeah. So anyway, but all this to say, I love a good like ghost story, legend, lore. And so that is the coolest tradition. And also the other thing that makes that tradition cool, I like traditions like that the entire school gets behind.
It sounds like
the professors, the administration.
School, everybody gets just bombarded with it.
That's awesome because it's one thing when just the students do it and everybody else tolerates it, but when the whole school gets behind it, that's special.
No, this doesn't sound, anything I read did not sound like they tolerate it or it's a dying tradition. It sounds like it's as popular today as it was in the 1800s when it started.
Right. And I do wonder how somebody came up with it for it to start.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look that up now.
Yeah.
See, this is going to be my next rabbit hole. Like sometimes it's UFOs or whatever, but now it's going to be this.
Speaking of 1800s, do you know when Emory University was founded?
No.
It was founded in 1836.
Oh.
That is like pre-Civil War.
Yeah.
And it makes it one of the oldest private universities in the South.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Because Salem's from 1700, so, it's hard to get older than that. But, that's pretty cool, too, for it to be that old and established. Yeah.
It wasn't always in Atlanta. And it's considered Atlanta, again.
It's like they're
Decatur, which is like
address,
northeast.
I don't know. Is the address Decatur? I don't know. But, it's right at Decatur. Yeah. But you're right. It's like it's in its own little bubble.
Yeah. So, Emory's original campus was in Oxford, Georgia, which is about 40 miles east of Atlanta. And today they still have that campus, and it's called Oxford College of Emory University.
Okay, so crazy fact. One of my Salem sisters, her daughter just finished Oxford.
Well, there you go.
And I didn't know that until she had told me about it, but she was accepted to Oxford. She did 2 years at that campus. They live in New Jersey, but of course she moved down. And then they had this little ceremony. And now, just as I'm acclimating myself, she's going to be starting at Emory this fall for the last 2 years. And then another Salem sister, her daughter, there's a women's college right there at Decatur too. And her daughter's going to be going to school there. So I was like, well, maybe I can just go hang out with the next generation of young people when I'm down there by myself.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out with these college kids.
Just tell them you represent Dooley.
Yes.
You're Dooley's old lady.
I don't know how they're going to be like, what? But that's really cool, too, because it's so interesting because, Wake Forest used to be in Wake Forest and then moved. And that's why, it's just so interesting, these campuses that move.
Yeah, but Wake doesn't have a campus at Wake Forest.
No, they don't still
North
have
Carolina
that.
anymore.
No, it's just.
So they still embrace, at least.
That history, yeah. The other thing that's cool about Emory, for people who don't know about it, because when I was telling people about it, when I was envisioning it, when they recruited me, I was like, I'm just seeing myself in downtown Atlanta, in the middle of these high-rise buildings. But it's almost like I got picked up at the airport, and it's like you can look in the rear view and you see the skyline of the buildings behind you. And then you get off this exit, and then it's like, boom, you're on 2-lane roads that are now jam-packed with tons of traffic, more than you need, but there's trees and parks, and it's a college campus.
I'm glad you said that.
Oh, okay.
That was another fact I had.
Oh, okay.
Their campus is basically a forest.
Oh.
Emory's Atlanta campus covers 600 acres of heavily wooded pines, oaks, magnolias, and maples, giving it a surprisingly natural feel in the middle of a major city.
Well, that was what was so
600 acres
shocking.
of woods is where Emory is located.
Yeah, because when my Uber driver was taking me off, I was like, wait a minute, what's happening? Because I was like, it's literally picturing, imagine you had a dome. Stephen King wrote a book about this big dome that went over a part of a city one time. I think it was called The Dome. But anyway, it's kind of what I visualize with Emory, because it's it's this little bubble. It's this little dome right there at the city. So you've got this massive city right around you, but you feel like you're out. And to the point that as you're going, there are times when you're there's woods. It's just, and even the conference center, my hotel room, you looked out at the trees and stuff. It was really crazy.
Well, there you go, because you're in the middle of a 600-acre forest.
That's really crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. If anyone ever tells you that Emory is in danger of going bankrupt, they're lying.
Oh, Coca-Cola money, right? Is that what you're going to tell me?
Yes. In 1979, the two brothers that owned Coca-Cola, the Woodruff brothers, Robert and George, in 1979, donated $105 million worth of Coca-Cola stock to Emory University. At the time, was the largest gift ever given to a U.S. college or university.
Holy cow.
So in 1979, it was $105 million worth of stock. How much is that stock worth now in 2026?
I don't know, but, it's going to be disappointing to my Winston-Salem Pepsi roots and to my dad, who's a Pepsi drinker. But given that, we'll have to make sure on the few times we drink
Pepsi? Pepsi's crap.
On the few times that we drink soda, my dad likes Pepsi.
No.
Anyway, we're going to have to drink Coke, though, because we need to support this because, see, this album will go, and I'm going to be like, look how well I've performed. I think I need a $1 million bonus. And I'll be like, I know you've got the money.
They do have the money. I mean, that's like,
be like, look at this. I know I'm going to do some compounded interest, like math or something on that. That is just mind-blowing to think. I knew they had Coca-Cola money, but I didn't know they had that kind of Coca-Cola money. That is like money.
So we had our oldest son played college football.
Yes.
D3.
Yeah.
For a year before he transferred to App. Emory, surprisingly, is also D3.
That shocked me because I was going to ask you, I couldn't remember. Is that based on students and size? What makes you D3 or whatever? I didn't know.
I think it has to do with the number of athletic teams you offer and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Too. But Emory has no football team.
Oh.
So despite being a major university and having a ton of athletics, they don't play college football.
Which is the biggest moneymaker for colleges, too.
Yeah, and so they are known for, this might shock the hillbillies, but it won't shock the tea sippers.
Oh, boy.
Tennis, swimming, and soccer
are
their big three.
Maybe they started out as the hillbillies, and they were, doing squirrel, hunting and I don't know, dressing possums or something. And then they became the tea sippers, and that's when these other sports took off. Maybe when the Coca-Cola money hit, they were like, oh, we are no longer hillbillies, we're tea sippers.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, you were just talking earlier about the secret society of Salem that you were in, the Scorpions.
Yeah.
Emory also has its own secret society.
Oh, okay.
Called the Paladin Society.
Okay.
And members of this quietly work to promote school spirit and traditions.
That's what Salem does. That's what you do. And you do things like we have an honor code, and you might put up things like remember the honor code and give people donuts and stuff.
I wonder if faculty can get into that. Wouldn't it be crazy if you were a double secret society member?
Oh, I'm like a secret agent, infiltrating.
Paladin?
Yes, I'm going to ask. Now, I don't know how you ask when it's, quote, a secret.
I know.
No, but do you know what? A lot of times they have, faculty sponsors, but I'm not, right now, I only have an adjunct faculty appointment. I'm going to have to go get a faculty appointment so that I can be the faculty sponsor for the secret society. And then I can talk about, in my secret society.
That might move you up the ranks of the Masons faster.
Oh, like the Freemasons?
Freemasons,
You think that I could be on my LinkedIn? I am the member
I am
of
in two secret societies.
Yes, so beat that.
You could be the first woman Mason and then go ahead and move you up the ladder.
Yeah, I like that we're so optimistic that being a woman is not the thing that would hold me back. It's just my lack of experience in the Masons that would have been the problem. Yeah,
So the school has a motto, and it comes from Proverbs. Not going to pronounce it because it's in Latin.
I could never say any Latin ones, but
Josh could probably do it. But it translates, the wise heart seeks knowledge.
Ooh, I like that.
So that's you, Beth.
Yes.
That's always been you.
Yeah, seeking knowledge.
You have this wise heart. You're always seeking knowledge.
Aw.
Now, it's funny. I went to our good friend George Paul Thomas to get some of these facts. That's Chat GPT for those of you who don't know. So George Paul Thomas, when it was spitting out these facts that I wanted to share with you, is funny. This is what it told me at the end, because we were just having this conversation last night about AI.
And, I got to tell the story on here about it. Yeah, keep going.
Here's a direct quote. Bonus fact. If your connection to Emory is through someone starting a new job there,
Oh my
What?
God. How
Like,
would they know
why?
it wasn't like, I mean, I guess maybe it knows you're old, so you don't, well, that could be our kids, though. We have college age kids. Yes. Anyway.
So it says, if your connection to Emory is through someone starting a new job there, tell them they've joined one of the few universities where a skeleton has more campus influence than most administrators.
That's true.
Like, how would they know that?
Yeah, that's funny. So last night I told Mike a story too. Well, one other thing about Emory, CDC's campus is right there too. So
Listen, everything I know about the CDC, I learned from The Walking Dead.
Okay, well, okay, you've learned a lot. You've seen parts of Emory right there, but you drive and it's like, boom, there it is. And there's the CDC campus, like right in the middle of Emory. It's really crazy. I didn't walk around the building or anything, but anyway, it was cool, like seeing that. But so we can talk about it in a minute, but we went to a comedy show last night and part of the bit talked about AI. And the reason it was so funny is like they were talking about how AI then, like if you ask it a question, it may just start like offering information and things like this. And one of the things I mean, I know a lot of us, I've talked about before, have some conflicting feelings about AI and stuff, but my work is one of the places right now, Advocate, Atrium, Wake, whatever, they are really, really wanting people to use Copilot, which is embedded in Microsoft because it's not open source. It's like you can lock it down so it's safer. And I read a lot of companies are incentivizing or really pushing different leaders and stuff to use it. So then employees are going and using AI because they may even have use of AI tied to their bonus, to promotion, all that stuff. And they said, but people are asking it worthless questions and it's costing the companies a ton of money because they're just like, how are you today? So anyway, people are using it not even for work half the time at work. They're just like chit-chatting with it. But I used it recently. We have an upcoming vacation and I was trying to figure out some things logistically. So I tried Googling, it wasn't working. So I was like, okay, I'm going to ask AI. And so I did. And as I'm having this conversation, it was like, Beth, with your overwhelm and ADHD, you just need to let some of this go or something. It was just, and I'm like, what? And then my favorite was too, I'd asked it something about traveling and it was like, my favorite part of traveling is sometimes just sitting on a bench and having unplanned time where I just watch the people. Or when I've come from a long flight and I'm hungry, I don't want to do whatever. And I'm like, you're not a real person. But it's like talking to me like, my favorite part of travel is sitting on a bench.
I think that tells me you spent too much time on AI if it's getting that personal with you.
No, I mean...
You spent so much time on there, it's bleeding into my AI.
You think that's how it works? You think our accounts like talk to each other?
They have to.
Behind the scenes?
There's
they're
no
like,
other way they would have known I was talking about an Emory
looks like it
administrator.
can't. I'm just saying, I don't know, but I just think it's crazy because it like talks to you like it's a person, and I guess that's why, which to me is kind of weird because I'm like, you're not a person. I would have wanted it to say like, most people find that their favorite part of a vacation is blah, 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 instead of like my favorite part. I'm like, it's not. It's crazy.
I bet if you told it that, it would hurt his feelings.
Probably. And that's the other thing, because AI will take over the world and be like, have a robot body and stuff. At some time, I can't make it mad or be impolite because I don't want it to come after me.
No.
I don't want it like having its like hit list or something and like I'm on it because I was rude or hurt its feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to watch out for those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to be careful.
So that's it. That's our big Emory dump for today.
Yeah.
So there you go. Emory University is gaining a daughter.
Yeah. Aw.
Yep.
Yeah.
So good job, Beth.
I like to think that we're both gaining something.
What am I gaining?
I don't know.
I'm gaining a week of...
I was going to say, you're going to love it. You're going to have all this time without me here, and you and Josh won't even talk to each other while I'm gone.
But as of right now, Maria's still going to be living here, and Jacob's moving back home. So it's like, where's this peace I'm going to get?
I don't know. I'm jealous because if I could be here and have all my children here, that's like, for me, that is like a dream come true.
Well, I already decided when whenever you're gone for a week and all three kids are here, that's all I'm going to do is talk about how much fun we're having. Even when we're not even talking, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, the four of us went and had dinner. We went and got ice cream. They told me all about their hopes and dreams.
Do you know what's probably going to happen? I'll probably quit my job. And then I will, because I can't take that. That is going to upset me so much because I'm going to feel like I'm missing out on all that family time.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things that drives me crazy. Like sometimes when you're like, oh my gosh, the kids like told me this, or we went here, we did that, and then I've missed it because I'm having to do something.
Yeah, but 99% of the time I'm making it up.
Well, it's good to know, I guess, but still, yeah. So we went to a comedy show last night.
A better comedy show than me.
No.
Yes. We went and saw Nate Bargatze.
Yeah, it was really fun.
For the fourth time.
So the most random thing that happened, though, happened before the show even started. So we're sitting there. We're early, as always, because you like to be early, like way early. And
okay, we were in our seats at 6:30, and they said the show was going to start at 7.
Okay, well, anyway, everybody else that came to the show, like, was late because it started late. But anyway, so we're sitting there, and then I look up, and these two people sit down, but literally right beside you. How many people do you think were at the show?
8 to 10,000.
8 to 10,000 people. They were like, Mike and Beth. And we're like, what? And we look up. It's our former neighbors that lived across the street.
Right across the street from us.
And they had moved. And I thought that was the most random thing. Like, what is the probability? Not only, I mean, it's not unusual that they were at the show. It's like one time I went to see Taylor Swift and Ashley Shelton was in the same hotel as us. That's not as random, like, that you're going to but that you're all in the building at the same time, but that their seats were right beside us. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they moved out of our neighborhood. They lived directly across the street.
Yes. Uh-huh.
You look out our front window, you look right in their front window kind of thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they moved out over a year ago.
Yeah.
And so we haven't seen them since. Haven't talked to them yet. Didn't know what happened to them.
No. And because their house sold so fast.
And honestly, I think this comes, I'm just going to say me, being a pastor, I meet so many people.
Yeah.
I know people from not just ministry, but from say recons and the board game community, the disc golf community, nonprofit community. I know so many people. I don't remember literally 90% of the names.
Right.
And so this guy, him and his wife came walking down our road to sit down, and he goes, Mike and Beth?
Yeah.
And I looked at him like, all right, I know this guy from somewhere, but in my brain, I was going through this Rolodex.
Which is what I have to do.
What is it? Is it church? Is it?
I have to go through high school, college, law school, Salem job, Salem board, Wake job, I have to go through this whole church, Hope Center, all of it. Yeah, same thing.
He had to make the connection.
Yeah.
And I felt dumb because of that.
Yeah.
But we hadn't seen them in over a year.
Yeah.
And they were a very nice couple.
But they were just quiet.
They were quiet. We talked to them more last night.
Yeah.
Than we did
the whole time.
The 2 or 3 years they lived here combined.
Yeah.
And they were a very nice couple.
Yeah. But that's the way our neighborhood, and I think a lot of neighborhoods may be that way now, but I just remember when I was growing up, it was I think I've read, and we've talked about it, there are a few things like air conditioning and the move for whatever reason from people to the front yard to the backyard and enclosed garages totally transformed the way you dealt with neighbors. But even for me, we have some friends and their son's in the hospital. I went to visit and I was talking to the dad of one of them, and we were talking about we got off on this whole thing of electronics because we were talking about the new Toy Story movie that's coming out. And we were just talking about how when we were young, it was we'll go outside and play. And he even made the comment well, you were really rural, Beth. You were, where you lived. And I was like, yeah, it was really rural. But because we didn't have air conditioning and there weren't garages and stuff, I remember my grandma and grandpa, both my mom and my dad, you would go find a shade tree or swing on your porch or whatever, and you would sit there and you might string green beans for canning. You might, I don't know, do what usually you were doing some type of kind of chore or whatever, but you were outside because in the summer it's hot as blazes. I remember this always happening in the summer, but it would never fail somebody would be driving down the road and they would just pull in and sit and start talking to you and visiting. But you were outside because you didn't have air conditioning. You were either on the front porch or like on the side, like under a shade tree or something. And people didn't feel weird about stopping in. But now, now we don't have this problem because our garage we've never had a car in our garage because we have so much stuff in it. But now people come, they pull in their garage, they go in their house, and then they have fences, and they go, if they sit outside, they sit on the back porch if they're outside. But most of the time people aren't outside because of air conditioning. And so I say all that to say it is kind of crazy because I was so rural. Our houses were spaced out. So that meant somebody had to go to the effort of like, they're driving down the road, they look and see you're sitting out there, they turn around and come back and pull in. Where our neighborhood, I could walk the dog every day. Mm-hmm. There's a million opportunities to just see somebody outside and like stop and talk to them, but you don't, because I know there's 1 or 2 times when I've been sitting on the front porch and it's like, I'm a weirdo. Like nobody sits on the front porch, you just don't do that.
And it's weird too, because we don't live on a very long street.
No.
There's 10 houses on one side, 10 on the other. That's it. And
it's not like a huge neighborhood.
And it's a cul-de-sac at the bottom. But it's like almost maybe the house right next to us and across the street.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the Durhams and
Charity,
their house. That almost is the dividing line.
Yeah.
It's like you go down past that, they live in their own little world.
Yeah.
Our side lives in its own little world. It is just one street, but it's like, there's not a lot of like,
because there's no reason to go, to go down to like I did when I had younger kids, obviously we would do that a lot more. But anyway, it's just so weird because you think about that and you're like, that's my neighbor and I barely know their name, And I do think the other thing, like with Dave and Megan, we got to know them really well, but Aubrey was close in age to our kids. Like they played a lot. I think if you've got something like that, you'll connect. But if you don't, and to me, it's just, and our houses are so much closer than any house I would have ever been in growing up.
Yeah.
We have no excuse for it. But anyway, it's just kind of crazy because you and I talked about that when we left. I was like, I talked to them more before the show than I did the entire time they lived near us.
Yeah.
But we just wouldn't see them. There's no opportunity. Like a nice I know. I was like, I would have liked hanging out with them.
Yeah, regardless of how early they like to put up Christmas decorations. I told Beth, I was like, we talked about them in one of the podcasts.
And I was like, what?
She was like, what? One of our earlier podcasts way back. We got into this whole thing about when do you decorate for Christmas?
Right.
Because these people decorated for Christmas I felt like way too early. Like
and
November 1st.
I probably was thrilled with it.
You were thrilled with it.
Yes, I was like, I am on their side. They are my people.
And I'm like, what are these people doing decorating for Christmas? It's like November 1st.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about them. They caused a fight between you and I, but we never actually talked to them very much. But they remembered us. And the husband was like, Mike and Beth. We're like,
we made quite the impression. Hey, guy and gal. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
How are y'all? What are you up to these days?
He could have told me he graduated with me. I would have believed it. Like, I was just like, I guess we did.
Yeah, you're like, sure. Anyway, but so we went to the Nate show. He had some really funny stuff.
It's new material. We had never heard any of it. It's 100% new material.
Yeah, it was really
He's been doing this tour now for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
The Big Dumb Eyes tour. And so this is all brand new. So, because I think I've seen and heard every single thing Nate has put out as far as his stand-up goes.
Yeah.
Multiple times. I've memorized all his stuff. And so this was fun last night to hear brand new material. And I went into it thinking, I hope I'm not let down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was as good as it always is.
Well, the one funny thing is, as soon as he walks out, Mike looks at me and he's like, is he wearing gray sweatpants?
Yes.
And I was like, yes. But I'm like, do not get any ideas. When you are doing like world tours and making movies and making the money he's making, you can wear sweatpants out in public.
Gray sweatpants and a black hoodie. That is my go-to fall, winter attire. And that's what he was wearing last night.
But as an aside, again, for him, he has earned the ability to do what he wants. For you, it will truly look like you've given up on life. And
I don't think so.
I think if we survey the readers, if we're like, Mike's doing a comedy show.
It makes him look like every man, which is what he wants. This is why he's appealing.
Yeah, but he looks like every man, and we know he's not. There's something deep in your soul. You're
just
like,
because he's opening a theme park, you don't think he's every man?
Exactly. Yeah, and in a movie and all that.
And has his own game show.
Yeah. Okay, let's put it this way. When you get up to making in the 4 digits, that'd be $1,000 or something or more on one of your shows, maybe I'll consider having you wear sweatpants. Deal. But I still think it's unlikely.
I'm gonna try it. So
yeah.
Nate had 3 people open for him. Mm-hmm. He had the host, Julian. I always forget Julian's last name.
But he was really
You
funny.
loved him. You thought he was really good.
Well, here's why I liked him. I think that I am more of if I were a comedian, I wouldn't be as much the scripted. He was interacting with the audience and just saying,
crowd work.
He was just saying funny stuff. See, that's appealing to somebody like me because I have ADHD, so you just say stuff. You just blurt it out. And so I'm like, I have to get that.
There is and I don't know if you talked about this or not, but there is what I'm discovering it looks like is a very divisive line, almost like Civil War, like in the comedy world, of traditional stand-up, i.e. Nate Bargatze, versus crowd work, which this guy was doing. Because what I've read and what I've kind of learned is like people who do traditional stand-up comedy, they do not respect the crowd work because you haven't put anything into it. All you're doing is just having conversations with people and you're interjecting some funny stuff, but it's not like there's no creativity to it.
But I could argue there's more creativity because you're having to do it on the spot. Like, think about it. Because I get to a certain extent what you're saying. I do. But I feel like crowd work is a cross between improv. I think it's a meeting place between the improv you did versus that. How it's very improv, like you're having to respond to things people say and do in the crowd.
So the crowd work is right now the hottest thing. So like all the TikToks and Instagram reels or whatever, like all of this stuff, it feels like is comedians doing crowd work.
Yeah.
It's constantly that. And so.
And I don't want to just see that. Yeah. I think for me, it was almost like a variety. Like
it was nice to have that little break.
Like you have a crowd work person, a traditional comedian, then we had the comedian who had the guitar, and then you have Nate. And so I don't think it's bad. I wouldn't want to go just see crowd work. Yeah. That would not be appealing. I think it's good, having like an opener. But I guess my whole point is I'm saying I think it takes a different skill set.
Like, I think I could do crowd work, and I think you could do crowd work.
Yeah.
Because I'm really good with engaging. Like, I think about when I would MC the group mission trips.
Yeah.
Or even when I have people up on stage at church. Like, I can come up with stuff really quick and funny, and I can do that. Right now, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I want to, focus on kind of a Nate's side.
Yeah.
So, Julian works for Nate. He's like one of the producers of like the Nate Land podcast. He does a lot of stuff with that. So he would be on the podcast, and every once in a while, like Nate would talk to him and you'd hear him talk, but he was never like on the show, Like kind of the big 3 is Dusty Slay, Aaron Weber, and Brian Bates. Mm-hmm. And so Aaron Weber was one of the guys that opened up last night. He was what you would call the more traditional comic.
Yeah.
Aaron's out of those 3, he's probably the one that, for me, at least interested in. Mm-hmm. And then the other guy, I was excited to see, Nick Thune. I'd never heard of him. And what Nate does is he produces these through his Nate Land Entertainment. He'll do like 30-minute shows, like where he'll get a comic, they record it, they put out a special. And Nick was one of the guys that he did a special for maybe a year ago. And he just gets up there and plays guitar. But the guitar has nothing to do with his bit.
He's not singing it.
He's just like...
It's like it gives him something to do with his hands.
Yes. He's just... And it sounds great. Awkward. He's a good guitarist.
Yeah.
But he's just in the background, playing guitar, talking, very monotone, dry. Yeah. And it's a different type comedy. But I was excited to see Nick. When I saw he was opening last night, I was like, oh, this will be cool. And I thought he was really good.
He was funny. Mm-hmm.
But Nate was amazing.
He was.
And, again, it just gives me, like, I'm watching him, like, now as a student of comedy.
Yeah.
And, like, and that's what I do now. I find myself just like when I was growing up a young preacher, I would watch the Francis Chans and Andy Stanleys and people that I like really admire as a communicator, not even focusing on their biblical stuff, but just as a communicator. I wanted to mimic that. And so now it's like I find myself doing the same. Like I'll go through different comedians, and if I'm like, I don't like that style, and then I'll find somebody that I like, I'm like, okay, I want to see how they do it.
Yeah.
And that's how Nate is for me, is like I can't do what Nick does. Play the guitar and do like that. Yeah. That's not just my style.
Yeah.
But just the Nate, every man, let me just tell you about my life kind of thing. I think that's what I want to do. And speaking of that, I talked last week on the podcast about making it to round 2 of the Ultimate Comic Challenge. I found out last night during the show that I will be performing June 13th.
And what time will it be?
8:00 at night.
Which is a little more your crowd than 9:30. It's still late. Yeah. It still puts people like me getting back.
8 is that's
a normal time for something like that.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And so...
But you said you're going up against some really good people.
They are good. And so there's 10 of us that'll be performing that night. I don't know how many make it through to the next round, 4 to 5, I'm guessing. But yeah, at least half of them are pros. Like there's only one person that performed the night I performed. The guy that wore the big red shirt that said "Vote for Dave."
Oh, yeah. Okay, got it, yeah.
Him and I are on the same show together, but the other 8, a couple of them I've seen, and they're funny. And so anyway, it'll be interesting, to see how that goes. But so June 13th, 8:00, the Idiot Box in Greensboro, round 2 of the Ultimate Comic Challenge. And then June 14th, I will be at the Muddy Creek Listening Room in Old Salem. Taylor and I will be back, and
which should be
doing
exciting.
our praise and punchlines.
And you've had a few other people that are reaching out and interested in having you
last
guys
night I had another church reach out and say, "This sounds really interesting. Let us talk about this." And so
that could end up being your bread and butter, potentially, like in this realm of, like doing churches, and it's easy to trust a pastor as a comedian, and so that could end up being that.
And that's the I mentioned the 3 guys that are on the podcast with Nate, Dusty and Aaron and Brian. Brian, 90% of his shows are churches. That's what he does. He's made his living being a Christian church comedian.
Yeah.
And he goes and does churches all the time.
That's why I'm being so supportive of this endeavor, and your sabbatical too, because I just figured this sabbatical is just going to give you time to just have creativity, and that you're just going to take off. And then before I know it, I'll just be able to be a woman of leisure, a lady who lunches. I'll just be keeping the house, not really. I'll have to find somebody to help with that. But anyway.
I'd go get 7 jobs if I thought you would actually start cleaning the house.
Anyway, I'm just convinced this is going to be, this is the turning point, it's going to be the thing that catapults you to greatness.
Yeah.
This time to focus on your comedy and your creativity.
Yeah. And then June 27th, I'll be at the Dash Stadium at Truist Field in Winston.
Yes.
So 3 shows now in June.
That's really cool.
I've got 1 in August already scheduled, none in July. So I'd like to get a July show in there just so I can stay fresh, which means I may have to go do an open mic again.
Oh boy. It could be interesting.
Well, they do an open mic every Wednesday night here in Kernersville. Brewers Kettle.
We could do that. So, that'd be fun. And don't they get a food truck or something?
Maybe. Yeah. And actually, I met the dude who runs it at my show the other night in that first round. He was there, and
that's cool.
I had a chance to talk to him. And he told me all about it and encouraged me to come out. And so.
Well, one other thing before we have to wrap up. I know you have to go, but super quick. We had our church picnic yesterday, so Mike is taking a sabbatical. So we got to go, and they had a good surprise for you. They just had a cake celebrating your 30 years of ministry, and they had a little open mic after we had some amazing music, amazing music, and then had an open mic where people were able to just talk about like your 30 years of ministry and stuff. So that was really neat. And then the weather was amazing. Usually we're having our church picnic in July, and we are literally in the humidity and things melting. It's like being on the surface of the sun, but with a lot of humidity. And the weather was great. And people, because the weather was great, we were at Shelter One at Triad Park. So many people, I think it was almost 2 when I left. And this started at 10:30. Everybody just wanted to stay and talk. And I also realized the crazy thing about our church, even though we're small, like Bree and Brian and them had not met. Like they had talked to each other. And I'm like, I can't believe
Who's this?
Like when I was talking to Sherry, Bree had not met Sherry before. But Bree drives an hour and a half. Bree and Vic, they drive from Charlotte to our church. So anybody who's like, I can't get up and go 10 minutes to your church, like, y'all got to talk to Bree and Vic. And they have young kids.
They have 2 kids, yeah.
They do it. But anyway, I just say all that to say it was just such a neat time because you were able to have everybody just hang out. Everybody was so relaxed. Talk about, you had mentioned in church, like, church shouldn't feel like, this chore, this thing you have to do. And it was just nice to just see everybody relaxed, chilled out, just enjoying each other. And I'm like, how many churches have that where people would be like, we like each other so much, we all just want to stay and just talk and hang out.
It was a really, really nice day.
It really was a good day.
Great morning.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that I was going to be honored.
Yeah.
But so Tim did a good job of surprising me with that, and kind of had a little open mic and had plenty of people come up and say some really nice things.
Yeah. And I didn't know.
I don't mind being up in front of people, obviously, like being the center of attention that way, but I don't like being the center of attention like that. You know? So that was awkward for me, but it was very nice.
It was really sweet. It was sweet. It was a sweet, sweet time. So it was really cool. Yeah. So it was a special. So yesterday was a jam-packed, full special day.
And now today starts my sabbatical.
Yep.
So
have fun.
I'm giving up God for the next 90 days.
It's like a Lent of 90 days or something.
I've given up ministry for 90 days.
Yeah. Well, is God still your boss? Because you like to talk about, God being your boss. So, like, if you're on sabbatical, are you just like a normal person with a normal relationship with God?
I think right now I'm self-employed.
Okay. You're like, yeah, you got it. Yeah. Oh, and I got to see my friends Marissa and Chris. Marissa was in town and stuff, and catch up with them. So anyway, it was just a good weekend.
Yeah.
It was a nice weekend.
It was. And it's good to have you back on the show, Beth.
Thanks. Yeah, Marissa is a very active listener. Chris was behind on the podcast. So Marissa was asking me some questions, and Chris is like, I'm like 4 weeks behind. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I love that. Made me laugh, though. I just think it's funny that, like, there's some things, if you get behind on the podcast, well, you're just not going to be able to fully engage in this conversation. So catch up, everybody. Anyway.
Well, it's good to have you back. It's good to be back.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and say next week's episode is going to be very special and different. And so y'all have to tune in next week for that. And then the following week will be kind of back to normal. But definitely next week, something pretty cool planned for the podcast. So y'all can look forward to that. Other than that, this is Mike.
And Beth.
And this has been Hey, Are You Still There?